Hi. One of our favorite techniques is the hydroponic system. This one in particular is a 12 pod unit and it contains about 3 liters of water. I'll explain a bit how it goes through. Essentially, our seeds, we got a lot of herbs and stuff that take a long time to germinate. The hydroponic system hyper accelerates that germination process. Essentially, it's a 3 liter bucket of water with a running pump, so it's a constant circulation. The light function has 2 different modes. One being for fruits, the other for vegetables. They have a slightly different tone. In that running water that's constant, it lays right about this water level, so there's a space of air in between that. Now, how this system works is that you place a single seed in a nutritious sponge, and the Nutri-Sponge sits in this plastic holder, so you can put your seed in there. The water just kind of touches the base of it when it's in there. It allows it to soak up all the water and nutrients and feed this plant. It hyper accelerates that germination, right? And once it's in there and you put your seed, all you have to do is put the protective cap on it. We love the system. It works really well, and I find it looks really good. It makes a really nice decoration inside your kitchen or whatever. First step in the process, you actually want to put some of what they call the plant food. It comes with most hydroponic systems. For this mount, for a 12 pod, I need 24 milliliters. So nice and easy. I let it circulate for a few minutes before I actually start germinating and putting them in my seeds. The hydroponic system works on a timer, on a high efficiency timer. So in a sense that it circulates the water and has activated the lights for a 16-hour period on a 24-hour scale. So it's on for 16 hours, and then the lights turn off for 8. Something you have to know about germinating your seeds in here too. What we found, it is excellent. This is probably my favorite system. It's the best one for starting your seeds, for germinating, getting that seed to sprout and become something amazing. It's not, however, so good for maintaining. As soon as it germinates and it becomes a nice plant that's sturdy enough, we transfer it into a different system here, more into direct soil. We're starting herbs mainly. Coriander is what I'm going to start here today. Always handy, little pair of pliers to catch your seeds. Grab a coriander seed in here. Okay, so I got my little coriander seeds here. I'm going to place them inside. You see these Nutri-Sponge? They actually come with an inserted hole. I don't know if you can see it here. It makes it very convenient. You throw your seed right in there. I like to put 1 seed. Sometimes you can put 2 seeds in there just to guarantee germination, or just put the chances more on your side. Coriander, let's try our luck with 1. Feeling lucky. And that's it. You just place it inside one of your pod holes. I'm sure the plant food mixed up nicely by then. It's a really nice pump in there. It's almost like a fish aquarium. It just keeps it circulating throughout. And of course, plastic covering. Now, what you're gonna wanna do too, is very easy to forget what plant is which. We have these little plastic labels. They came with the hydroponic system. There we go. Cilantro. Put that in, comes with these nice holes, makes it pretty. Oregano. The oregano seeds are so tiny. They literally look like dirt. You can't pick an individual one. Nice, conservative pinch of them. This one is a first for us. We're doing this here, lavender. This one, it's almost more of a spore. Lavender. Oh, looks like someone came over to help me. Okay, one of my favorites, basil. Who doesn't like basil as a herb? If you're a herb person, you gotta have basil. While I'm waiting for my other labels, believe it or not, they're actually in the dishwasher. Just make sure you label the stuff. I make myself little notes like this. Labeling the pods, to remind myself which herb is in which pod. See, this is Viola. We've grown it before outside in the garden amongst our vegetables. This is the first time we're trying it in the hydroponic system, so yay us. Pretty flower, I enjoy it. Who doesn't like Viola? It's an edible flower too. Viola. No herb garden isn't complete without parsley. Made it in. Big cooking fans out there who enjoy a good flavor. Thyme is hard to go wrong with. Thyme, like some of the others, extremely small. Seeds are almost a dusting. Be very careful. Here we go. First we had Italian parsley. Now it's going to be curled parsley. Don't forget, these plastic brackets are all reusable. I take these out, I wash them, I reuse them. Dill. Like I said, lots of variety in here. You don't have to like everything. The wife really enjoys the dill. I've had it in potatoes where it tastes good. Boy, lots of dill made it in that one. Last but not least, this one I'm excited for. It doesn't fit with the other ones of the herbs. Strawberry. I've never grown it before. I've never tried. This variety of strawberry particularly are a good type to grow in pots. So we'll give it a try. As I was expecting, if you didn't know you're looking for strawberry seeds in here, you just thought you got an empty Ziploc. It's all good stuff. I like a good diversity in the herb garden. So far we have 10 varieties of herbs and a strawberry. Now we've got 2 extra pods. I don't like to waste that space. I like to use it all, have as many things as we can. So we decided to double up. We're gonna make another one of strawberries beside the other strawberry, so that the 2 strawberries can be friends. And basil, just because basil is something particular that we eat a lot of. Out of all the herbs we had, the basil is the only one with big, fat, easy to grab seeds, just the way we enjoy it. You know, doing this, it has to be something you like to do. I enjoy it. It's making yourself food. Make your own food. I find it fun. I enjoy watching it grow. In general, me sitting here all day doing this is actually a little therapeutic. It feels good. Of course, let's not forget to write down what's where. This is going to sit, I'm assuming we won't see good, strong germination for another, for a month. Some of them up to 6 weeks. So we'll see. We'll keep you posted.
Hi everyone, my name is Julia and I am Stefan's wife.
I'm perfect. No, she doesn't think so.
Today I'll be walking you through the same herbs and a couple of additional seedlings that we'll be planting today, but in a more standard seed tray using soil. Our plan is to plant the same things we planted in the hydroponic system in the soil as well, so we can compare the germination rates and see which does better. Now, in general, a hydroponic system can accelerate germination rate and be a wonderful place to start seedlings. But what can happen when you're moving your crops from the system to a regular pot or maybe outside in the future is it can cause a lot of root disruption if the root gets tangled within the hydroponic pod. And so for plants or varieties that don't love root disruption, the hydroponic system might not be the best. So today we have Fennel Herb and I probably am not going to say this correctly, but Anise Hyssop. So these 2 herbs I have read don't love to have their root systems disturbed, and so we did not plant them in the hydroponic system. We'll only be doing them in the soil-based tray, but all the other varieties that do grow well in a hydroponic system, we will also be trying in the soil and then comparing how they do. So let's get started. To begin, I'm going to be putting this seed starting mix into our seed tray. This is actually a really wonderful seed tray because it has very deep pods. What this does is it allows the root structure to grow more long, which is much healthier for the plant. If you are growing in a seed tray that has very square or rounded pods, typically less healthy and results in more transplant shock for the plant once you move them out of these little seed starting trays. There's 72 pods in this one tray. Each of the pods also has a pre-made hole at the bottom to ensure good drainage, and underneath there is another black tray that will collect the water. Now, we bought a seed starting mix to plant our seeds in, but you do not need super fancy seed starting mix. Even if the soil is quite poor, many will be able to germinate at the beginning. Of course, as they grow, if they remain in that poor soil, it will impact their ability to grow and be healthy. And so at some point you might have to fertilize your soil with some sort of plant food. Okay, so our seed tray is now full of seed starting mix, and so we are ready to begin planting our seeds. We're going to be planting the same seeds that Stefan planted in the hydroponic system. I would like to save some room because in about a month we'll be planting our tomatoes and our bell peppers, and we're going to want to have some extra room left to start those seeds. Of course, I brought gardening gloves and now I'm not using them, so my hands are getting all dirty. Put those back on. Okay, as Stefan mentioned, the oregano seeds are so tiny, I'm not even sure if they landed in that pod. I hope they didn't. I guess we'll find out in a few weeks. So now I'll be planting one of the new seeds that was not planted in the hydroponic system. Fennel is really, really delicious in a range of recipes, and the seeds are much larger than some of the other seeds we've been working with here today. What I'm doing is after planting each of the seeds, I'm just pressing down on the soil. Having some compaction helps these seeds take root. You don't want it to be just air all around them. You want them to have something to grab onto and grow up. Next, we have the Anise Hyssop. Once the seeds have gotten started here, we hope to move these herbs into larger pots, and we'll be documenting that at a future date. Seeds can stay for a very long time, even a couple years, if they're stored well. They need to be 100% dry, and they need to be stored in a cool place. Fridge is often a good place as long as you can keep them very, very dry. So the last thing left to do is to water our little seedlings. Nothing fancy here. I'm just using this glass jar. I am using spring water, and I like to use a mix of cold and hot water to make it sort of lukewarm. Seedlings tend to grow sooner and faster if they're in a warm environment. The best water you can give them is ideal, water that doesn't have chlorine in it, for example. Another thing that many people do is they actually put a heat pad underneath their seedlings to provide heat from the bottom, and that will also help your seedlings germinate faster. The seeds are also covered to make sure they are warm and comfortable and protected from debris or wind. The light is a perfect size to fit the average seed starting tray. Hopefully we'll start seeing some seeds germinate from soon.
Remember what we said about hyper-accelerating the germination process? We're up to 72 hours now, and I think we can see a sprout. Well, Julia went out and got ourselves the proper labels. And to help us here today is our big cat, Charlie. Almost 17 pounds. He's enormous. And he's a good cat. He was also our first cat that we got right from the SPCA as a rescue. Right, Charlie?
He clearly loves
Right, Charlie? We saved you. We saved you, and he thanks us all the time.
Oh.
Base cover on. See, the nice thing about the base cover, it keeps all that humidity inside. Now we take a look at this 3 days later after planting. We can see some sprouting of our thyme already. Oh yeah, we got basil as well starting up there. Oregano at the back. Well, call me glass half full. We are in business.
We also have a tiny Anise Hyssop coming up. There it is. So once we got some seedlings germinating, I decided to remove the plastic cover. I've set up a fan. I put it on the lowest setting, and I actually have the fan pointing most of the time away from the seeds. It will essentially mimic wind and will actually make the seeds stronger as they grow. It might also dry off the top of the soil, which is healthy for the plants. It can prevent something called dampening off. In this video, we're using the top watering method, and you want to be extremely, extremely gentle when you are watering. You don't want to damage the tiny little plants that have come up, and you want to be careful not to overwater. We water maybe every second day or every day, depending on how dry the soil feels. I use this container which has this little spout, and it allows me to be really, really precise in very gently watering each pod. So it is day 7 for this side of the tray and day 4 or 5 for this side of the tray. So naturally this side is further along. Let's talk germination rates. The shortest is basil with 7 to 10 days. We do have already some keener basils that have sprouted really, really quickly. They are beautiful. Look at that bright green color and foliage. If I take you over to the hydroponic system, our basil has sprouted. We should see in 3 to 5 days, hopefully, more basil coming up here. Oregano, 7 to 14 days. And sure enough, we have some little oreganos coming up here at the back. We have another 4 oregano on this side of the tray. Those ones are only on day 4 or so. In the hydroponic system, we have 1 oregano pod only. So you can see in there 4 or 5 shoots coming up from the center of the pod. We will likely need to thin those out. We did not actually expect to see any thyme coming up yet, but we have some keeners in our group of seeds. One is just flourishing with life. In the hydroponic system, our thyme is also doing very well. You can see there are many thyme seeds. I can't even count how many are in there. We may need to thin those out once they get a bit bigger. So next, fennel takes 7 to 14 days. We planted 6 fennel in the soil tray and 1 has already come up beautifully. Look at this gorgeous tall sprout. And seeing now how quickly this fennel is growing, how tall it's growing, I'm glad we did not plant it in the hydroponic system because it likely would have grown larger and faster than anything else in there and, you know, overtaken the place. Next, we have our Anise Hyssop, which can take 1 to 4 weeks. We were very lucky. I think we only have these 2 pods of Anise Hyssop. I did not plant 6 entire pods because it was our first time ever planting this plant. We are not doing it in the hydroponic system. I do hope to make teas with it. I do hope to maybe use it in the bath, as I've read can be very relaxing. The other plants at this point we would not really have expected to see any. We don't see any dill yet in the soil system, but I do see the dill coming up in the hydroponic. So this is actually the very first plant that has come up above the sticker in the hydroponic system. You can see this dill is just shooting up for the stars. So we'll keep you guys posted on that. And we have a surprise for you guys. We planted 12 additional herbs. Lemongrass, chives, epazote, a Mexican herb, marjoram, cumin, tarragon, 2 varieties of mint, a regular mint and a peppermint, sage, rosemary, angelica, and star anise. This tray has been going now for about 5 days. And look, we already have a little mint coming up. Yay!
We just wanted more. I want more herbs.
More is better. If you like these type of videos about gardening and homesteading, please consider liking and subscribing to our channel. Thank you, and we look forward to you joining us on our journey.
Well, this bag broke. Oh no. Well, that's not good. I'm pretty sure I lost all my other thyme seeds.
Okay, I'm gonna edit out all of those because it's just weird.
I think they're funny.